On this week's episode, we talk about 2 major DeFi exploits and 1 centralized exchange's public debacle, and some very good news for the AI industry. We also talk about markets and our trading competition. So stay tuned. You're going to want to watch this.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up, people. I'm up. Stay till the end. It happened.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the NFA Podcast. I want to say this week, but now it's this month. Welcome to Sad November.
This is after Miss the first week of October. She was going, "It's October, baby. It's October, baby." I was like, "Is this
October
real?"
was great. And no, we woke up to some, I guess, really bearish news every day for the last week, and crypto markets are down about 20. Solana is down 20% over the last week. I think Bitcoin's down 10%, but you get the gist of it. Everything's crashing, and why we'll see you in 3 years when there's a bull market again.
You think? Okay, let's go straight into the news.
I think right now there's a lot of uncertainty, and we've seen this in the past where whenever there is uncertainty, it is priced in, people get scared, they sell their assets. There's the elections coming up right now in the US, and that will impact price. There's also been 2 major hacks in the last 48 hours. So there is some negative sentiment going on.
But
What's
in
your
general,
take?
that didn't answer my question. Do you think we're stuck in the same rut? We'll move sideways for a while? Do you think we're starting a bear market? Or do you think we're starting bull market?
I don't think we're starting anything. I think it's going to move sideways for a while. I think we've been in a bull market. I think that there are bear cycles within a bull market. But I don't think that it's going to change drastically over the next couple of weeks.
So I think this is just a correction after having a lot of exuberance over the last, 18 months. I don't know how long it was. It feels in crypto like a month feels like a year. A day feels like a week, and all that stuff. I was going to do more metaphors, but I think you get the gist of it.
Time goes by so fast, and it's hard to keep track of things. But in reality, we've really just been in this bear bull cycle from the start of the year. That's when the whole a DeepSeek AI stuff came out, and it crashed all the market. And it's
That's
just
the
another
thing,
day
right?
in crypto.
I think it's been going up and down. I think in 3-4 months cycles, pretty much for a year now, and. It's funny if you look at year to date or look at versus 1 year ago, 365 days looking back or looking back the first 10 months of the year. It's unbelievable how different the results are. It's just because there was so much movement in Q4 of last year.
And I think it's also important to remember that we're not following the typical patterns that we've always followed.
No.
There's so much institutional money in crypto now, and there's so much more stability because of the amount of holders.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're ever going to see a market like we did back in 2021.
And this is why I'm bullish. I'm seriously bullish long term. And I do think this is the year, I'm serious, of the large breakthrough of crypto, not on the consumer side and end users, but on the institutional side. So that's why I'm bullish.
It's been really interesting. For the last couple of days, I've been seeing a lot of the narrative on Twitter shifting from, we wanted a pro-crypto president to he's really just been feeding his own pockets, and the whole information about Eric Trump making millions and millions off of insider trading has come to surface, which I'm really excited about because we spoke about this months ago. We knew that it was happening, but
now we suspected. We didn't know.
Right.
We don't. And is it proven though? I still think I have such a distrust against media because everything's so polarized, left wing, right wing, that I don't know what the neutral source is.
It's on the blockchain, right? You can see Eric Trump buy before that tweet that Donald Trump put up of Solana being the future and all of that.
But do we know those are his wallets? That's the big thing, of course.
Yeah.
Do we know those are his wallets? I mean, or is it people? We know.
Apparently, no, they know. They've made sure of it. They've linked it to previous posts that he made on Twitter.
Oh, that is bad. In that case, that is bad.
At least use a new wallet.
Yeah, Stas, give some tips to Eric Trump on how to embezzle more without getting caught, Nish. That's the goal of this podcast.
Let me tell you, Eric Trump, create a new wallet. Don't post it on socials. Use Tornado Cash. Don't send it into an old wallet that people are tracking.
Do you have another sister that's less criminally inclined than you? I'm just checking. There should be.
I don't do it. I have no influence to even do any insider trading.
but Eric does. Anyway, I still think that the Trump policies were good. With regards to crypto, I do think that the crypto policies of the Trump presidency have been positive, and it's decriminalized crypto. I hate the fact, Nish, that, last year when we still telling people we're in crypto, I you surely remember this, there were people that are sort of frowning, sort of like, oh, is that what you have resorted to? I'm like, blockchain is amazing. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Michiel, I've been in crypto now 5 years full time, and I swear to God, I am still scared to tell people that I work in crypto because I just don't know how they're going to react. I still get faces. I had this one neighbor that was like, oh, so what do you do? And I said, I work in crypto. And he went, oh, suspicious. And he walked away.
Look, yeah, I'm so sick of this whole narrative. I'm actually glad that President Trump ended that narrative for a large group of people, at least from institutional investment.
I don't know if he's ended it, though. That's the issue. Because of his weird, insider trading and his own illegal activities that he's normalizing doesn't make it okay for the rest of the industry. I don't know if it's really helping,
True. Okay, what's also not helping is your news item, because I'm reading here from the script. But what happened to Stream Finance? So I completely missed it because I was working in the real world. What's going on?
Oh my God. So Stream lost, and I say this in quotes, they've lost $93 million in fund assets. And basically one of their fund managers calls them and says, hey, this has happened. We've lost 93 mil. At the same time, their stablecoin, which is XUSD, depegged by 30%. So to put it in perspective, you could buy $1 for 70 cents. Reminded me of what happened with Terra and their UST, and how it caused the entire collapse in 2022. And basically they backed their stablecoin with another stablecoin, and they used Hyperrhythm, whereas Terra used an algorithm. I mean, I swear we just don't learn. Like, we as an industry just don't learn.
So what happened in this case? What do you think is going on?
I think that there's some shady stuff with their fund manager. They actually lawyered up. So I'm assuming that they know that something shady's gone on with the fund manager. In addition, we can link this article that I've put here in our notes, that is called The House of Cards. And if you read it, it is very similar to what happened with Terra. It's basically like building a stablecoin on a bubble. It is a house of cards. The article just has a perfect title for it.
How much room is there, do you think, for other stablecoins other than USDT, USDC? Is there this endless need? Well, USD1 of Trump's other son, Donald Trump Jr. How many stablecoins can we support in the whole ecosystem? I wonder about that.
I think that there's space, there's room. However, there's a bit of an issue here with currencies. So you have the yen, you have a won backed, you have a euro backed, and a British pound backed. And I feel like all these countries keep creating their own currencies, and we're kind of creating a forex system that's in crypto now. So that'll be really interesting. But within, like, let's say the USD ecosystem, we have USDT, we have DAI, we have USDC, SUSD. There's so many different tokens. Although a lot of them don't have market share, they're important for existence because they help break things apart. Like we talk about this almost every episode. Tether does not have an audit. Tether's never been audited. There have been partial audits where they show some of the assets are equivalent to the amount of Tether minted. But last month, I think they minted $2 billion worth of Tether.
Yeah, it would be great if they would get an accounted statement. Yeah, it would be great if they would just have an audited statement, fully audited. The other thing was then, you also hinted about it already, Solana is not doing wonderful. We'll get to that in the trading competition.
So they're doing well. Okay, out. I forgot about that. But yes,
I'm out.
Solana as an ecosystem is doing well. If you remember when we first started the podcast, I talked about HSBC, Citibank, and all the major institutions using Solana. That's still the case. All of the major banks are still building on Solana. In fact, as of this week, Solana hit a massive milestone where they have $800 million of real world assets built onto
Incredible.
Solana. So that could be property, that could be currency, it could be, I don't know, your dog. Like you could put anything, carbon credits, anything could be on Solana, and they have $800 million worth of assets now. But again, as of this morning, Solana has hit a low since August 2025, which isn't that far, but we were doing really well.
The Solana holders. I had $10 in it in the training competition, but we'll get to that. It was a sad moment when I parted from Solana. Well, again, here you get the weird thing in crypto where your belief in the project has nothing to do with the price. The price doesn't reflect usually the real value of the project, but that is the hard part about it. There's only liquidity in the token itself, but not within the ecosystem. Solana and Sui also are different in that sense, but then it's not reflected in their price. But it could be because it went up too much the last year and a half. I mean, that could also be. So
I say it all the time. Are we priced in? Do we feel like all the good news is already priced in?
Yeah. I don't know. Talking about good news, you also had this beautiful news about Balancer got hacked for 128 million. This is after Stream Finance losing money. I'm doing this. So what happened with Balancer?
Balancer got hacked before Stream Finance came out with their loss. Stream Finance, just to be clear, was not a hack. Their funds got lost. So for Balancer, these hackers basically they targeted the bridges. Now, when it comes to crypto and moving things between the blockchains, bridges are the ones that connect different blockchains to communicate with each other, but they are also the main vulnerabilities when it comes to the system. So this hack of 128 million basically affected several different blockchains that bridged to Balancer. So Berachain, all of them kind of managed it really well. Berachain halted the network. The way that these decentralized finance protocols work is you will have validators, and these validators, they can help transactions during a hack like this. And we saw it in action. So we've really come a long way. And I'll put this into perspective. Berachain is a newer chain. They had validators halt the network. Polygon censored the hackers' transactions to freeze them in place. Sonic, which used to be Phantom, I believe. Let me double check that. But they also added a functionality to freeze and zero out the hackers' accounts. Whereas Ethereum did nothing. They couldn't do anything because there's nothing built into that system.
It's really sad because I really like Balancer actually. And I think they were a project originally from a Portuguese guy. But I remember seeing them from the start. I really liked the way they set up the liquidity pools and the flexibility you had. We actually looked at them for Tracer as well, for our own project. But it's depressing that this keeps happening, that the bridges get hacked for in these liquidity pools. And it is still a weakness that apparently is very tough to mitigate.
It is, yeah. And imagine for the hacker getting away with $128 million, it's a huge win for the hacker, right? So people are looking at that and saying, well, what if I can get even a 10% of that?
Yeah, that's
1% of that.
And in other happy news, you have MEXC and White Whale had a huge public debate. White Whale is the name of an anonymous account. Does anyone know who that is? Or if it's a company or a person, or White Whale is a Twitter account. It's an X account.
They had at the time maybe like 59,000 followers. And so it wasn't a massive account, but basically he's a trader. Apparently he's a family man. And MEXC flagged a transaction back in April. He was trading over the last couple of weeks, and all of a sudden his account got frozen when he made a $3.1 million profit. He was unable to withdraw that money. Finally, he went public on Twitter about their conversations from back in October. Now, the CSO, her name is Cecilia, she's from MEXC, and she basically put up this tweet saying, I tried to resolve this amicably. We won't hesitate to distribute the 3.1 mil to the community. Huge red flag. All of the people from MEXC were saying, well, we don't want his money. Give it back to him. That's all we want. So it was a like really stupid thing to say publicly. The entire debacle lasted a couple weeks, back and forth. But finally, as of like yesterday, I believe he got his funds back and he ended up donating all of it to charity.
Yeah, I saw that tweet because I follow her. I also follow her on Instagram. She hasn't been with MEXC very long she's the new chief strategy officer. First of all, I was surprised that she is then the public spokesperson on this issue. Why do you have your chief strategy officer talk about somebody trying to withdraw funds and having an issue with the exchange? That's one. So I thought that was weird. Where's the CEO in this? I think that's the second issue to discuss.
All these stories combined together leave us in a bit of a little confusing area, because on one side, we cannot trust the centralized exchanges. On the other side, we cannot trust all the DeFi protocols. So where does that leave users? It's just so important that education comes into play into crypto, because a lot of people are keeping their thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions on centralized exchanges. That's not your crypto. You don't own it.
I have much more positive news because I am for once positive about OpenAI. And it should be said, I got a lot of shit in my newsletter last week because I was very positive about the OpenAI deals. Basically, OpenAI finally did a few positive deals. And they're not getting enough credit, which is something I also never say about OpenAI. So they got a deal with Microsoft first, which basically liberated them. Microsoft was a 49% shareholder and blocked the transition of OpenAI to become a normal company, because they're like sort of now a not-for-profit, blah, blah, blah. And by being that not-for-profit, they couldn't go public and couldn't also raise money right now. For example, they had money that they raised from SoftBank and all these things, but it turns out those were commitments, providing OpenAI was able to change their legal status to a for-profit company, because then, of course, a company like SoftBank that puts money in can make a profit in the future by selling shares once OpenAI goes public. Anyway, they got a deal with Microsoft. Microsoft is now down from 49% to 27%. And OpenAI can now procure cloud computing elsewhere. They don't have to buy it from Microsoft anymore.
Wow.
And yesterday, it was announced that they're buying for $38 billion in 7 years on AWS. So they're buying from Amazon AWS servers, starting immediately using NVIDIA compute from Amazon. And for OpenAI, it just means they can go public. And then the news was that they're looking at going public. 3 sources leaked to Reuters. They're going public at a $1 trillion valuation.
Wow.
Yeah, and raising at least 60 billion, but probably more. I think he will raise much more. I think he'll raise at least 100 billion at a 1 trillion valuation. And they will probably already go public next year, 2026. And
That's
so
amazing.
here, and so finally now, and this is where I was going with this whole thing, is he can raise enough money to spend these hundreds of billions that he's been committing. He signed a deal with Oracle that he was going to spend like tens of billions over the next 5 years. But the company is losing money hand over fist. But now he can lose money hand over fist, and he can just invest in growth and invest in data centers. And so, which is why I moved my whole portfolio, jumping ahead, but we'll get to it, in training competition, all to AI infrastructure. Because I think this will be the kickstart of the whole AI, I don't know, revolution, but the AI market boom. It will ignite all markets. You will see. So that was my whole spiel about OpenAI. I'm very bullish. I'm very OpenAI. and then I have to say something else. A new report came out, a scientific study by Wharton, which proved that 72% of companies that engage in AI projects, here it is, are doing great. and making a profit from it. They're successful, 72%. Especially smaller companies because they're more nimble. And this is really important because in the summer, this crappy MIT study came out that said basically that organizations do horrible when they implement AI. If you read it well, it actually says the organizations have no good plan. It's not so much the AI that doesn't work, but they are shitty at implementing innovations.
The studies on AI are so limited right now. Even Microsoft, they published a study on AI of the jobs that are most likely to be replaced. And they did not take into consideration any other AI models other than LLMs. So obviously being a truck driver is not going to be replaced by ChatGPT, but it can be replaced by self-driving cars, which is a different form of AI. So yeah.
Well, here's another thing about that. What is interesting, though, is that you see all these companies thinning their workforce. Amazon is laying off, have you heard, 30,000 people? 30,000. Wow. Microsoft has laid off 7% of the workforce so far this year. And a large part of that is related to AI. But anyway, that was my news. So I'm very bullish, happy, and everything. And I will go first here in markets. Now, the Nasdaq Composite Index has gone up this year so far, 23%. Keep this in mind. The S&P 500, 16%. But companies like Amazon, Apple, and Ethereum as a crypto, Meta, Tesla have all done worse than S&P 500 and a lot worse. Microsoft is just on par with Nasdaq Composite. But now look at my 8 companies in my spotlight on AI. I will share the link. They're up. AMD, Arista, ARM, Gigabyte, Marvel, even though Marvel went down 15%, Palantir, Supermicro, TSMC, those 8. So it's a mix of chip companies and software companies. I didn't even count Broadcom and Nvidia. I took not like the market leaders, but the rest. Up 59% for the year. 59 on average. That's the average of those 8. I know. And what I'm saying is you can be an idiot like me. Just pick 8 tech companies that I put here, that I published last year, that are from small to large, not even counting NVIDIA, not even having Broadcom. And you're up 59% on average. So shocking. Then you take Amazon, it's up for the year this morning, 15.78%. So it's up less than the Nasdaq Composite. It's just insane. So that was my market news. But then if we go to the crypto market,
the bloodbath.
Oh my God. And everything is in red in crypto. So the crypto market since last month, down to 3.48 trillion, down from 4.22. So it almost lost not a trillion, but it's getting there. If it keeps going down like this, it lost 25% of the total value. It now lost 20%. Bitcoin I can't even read this. It's painful. Bitcoin is at 105 while we're recording this. It's down 16%.
Down from last month.
16 from last month. Ethereum is at 3,500. It was 4,500 last month. It's down 1,000. It's down 23%. The altcoin index is I can't even say this. The altcoin index is at 28, down from last month.
It's now at 24, by the way.
It's
24? Dropped even further. It's 24 right now.
I wrote this down an hour ago. Last month when we recorded, it was 61. I mean, and then the fear and greed index is at 27. And it says you're up, but it's down from last month. It's down from 57 to 27. So
it's down 30 points.
It's down 30 points. It's unbelievable. What is going on? Please, your perspective.
So CoinMarketCap has this really nice AI feature where you can ask it a question. And one of the suggested ones is, why is the market down today? So when I clicked on it, it said the crypto market fell 4.02% over the last 24 hours, extending a 10.21 weekly decline. Fear dominates sentiment, amplified by sector-specific risks and macro uncertainty. Risk off rotation. Bitcoin's dominance rose to 60% as investors fled altcoins. Meme coin crash. Oh, nice. Okay, meme coin crash. There's been a lot of sell-offs. There's a DeFi exploit fallout, which we spoke about with Balancer and Stream Finance.
Exactly.
And derivatives deleveraging.
Okay. Is that what you think?
I don't know how much I agree with this meme coin crash only coming from airdrops, but whatever it is.
But here's my question to you.
The next
What's your
7
price prediction for
days.
Bitcoin next week? Next week, Bitcoin.
Same,
Come on.
104, 104.3.
Okay, I'm gonna go 109. Because I think it's overcorrection. Altcoin index? Yeah. What do you think?
30.
I'm going to say 26. So I'm basically saying moving towards Bitcoin because of fear. That's my prediction for next week. I think that's what's happening. People are going back into Bitcoin, getting out of alts, going into Bitcoin. That's why I think Bitcoin will go up a little and the alts will just be hammered. So fear and greed index. What's your prediction?
30.
I'm going to say 25. I think people are scared shitless. Let's see next week what the prediction is going to be. Okay. So that leads to the trading competition.
Well,
you want to go first?
Yes, I sold everything and I put it all into Solana, and I managed to accrue 0.8 Sol, which I was really happy about because I was worth maybe like 200.
I thought you screwed up the sheet. We have a sheet that I will link to from the show notes. So everybody can see it. It's public. You really moved everything to Solana?
Everything. Yeah, I did. Because BNB did so well, it just kind of made sense. But now Solana crashed.
Wait, those two have nothing to do with each other. BNB did well, so stay in it.
It was altcoin season.
Yeah. When was it altcoin season? It was never altcoin season. in Nish's head, it was altcoin season.
It was.
No peeps.
It was.
Okay.
Well, now I'm at $127.62, which is still okay because we did start at $100. So I'm still up 27%.
June.
Yes.
I'll say so. Exactly, we're 5 months in now. 5 months. Almost to the day, and Niche is up 27%, which is not bad. Let's face it, for a girl. You can tell I'm up because now I got a big mouth again. Like for a girl, Niche has been killing me, people, killing me week in, week out. She was up 60% at a certain point, and I was doing nothing. I actually moved completely out of crypto. I took my losses. I sold first my Pudgy Penguins. And I just bought Pudgy Penguins because I liked the name. I just thought it's such a cute name. I sold, I had Solana, I had Sui, I sold those. From the proceeds, which were horrible, almost nothing, especially Solana, hey, I lost, I think in total, more than 25% on Solana since I bought it. So I just took my loss. I moved it into Palantir. I moved my Sui into AMD. And what else did I have left? I got something else that I moved into TSMC.
Yeah,
I sold Intel. No, I have Bitcoin. I kept Bitcoin. I still have Bitcoin, which I bought at 104. It's now at 105. I'm still up on Bitcoin, just pure luck. But I sold Intel and I bought TSMC for it instead. So I all did that this morning for the competition since June. I'm up now 34%, 34.19. So... And you're at 27.62%.
Yes.
So you're basically 28. I'm at 34. It's very close. It's too close to call.
Time to get on Pump Fun.
I am a big believer in NVIDIA. I'm a big believer in Palantir. I linked a few months ago to a beautiful article by a guy that used to work at Palantir, how they develop software. I'm amazed at how they develop software. I think it will be a very profitable way. And so I'm not so much looking at which customers they have. I think Palantir is interesting because of how they develop technology. And I think we can learn from that if you have a software company, look at how they do it. Talking to customers before they build stuff is a very interesting way of doing things instead of building it first and then talking to customers. But yeah, basically for the training competition, we both did some big moves that haven't led to anything.
No, mine led to losses. But let's see how it is next week.
Let's look how it is next week. All right. Thanks so much for your time and your attention listening to us. Then we'll be back next week. And then hopefully there'll be more positive news from you, especially. We need some positivity from you.
Okay, I'll work on it.
Negative Nelly with all your hacks in your...
Maybe my trading competition will make me 10 grand next month. Who knows?
Yeah, that's going to happen. Okay. Thanks so much. See you next week. Bye-bye.
See you guys. And don't forget to follow, share, and like our podcast because it does help us get more views. We have seen that we do have about 5,000 listeners on some episodes. So that's pretty cool. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Bye, guys.